Bruce's Big Call Dinar Intel Thursday night, May 30th, 24. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Welcome everyone to tonight's call on Thursday, May 30th, and you are listening to the Big Call. And tonight, we are going to be Sue and Bob. And of course we're going to be missing Bruce. And if you were listening just a minute ago, you were listening to Bob, and I share that Bruce is still on his healing recovery journey. And you know, we're missing him. Yes. But what's most important is that everybody that's listening to this call are holding him in the most remarkable healing and recovery and sending him love and understanding. As I was talking to you, Bob, I was thinking this is going to be all about community in the future, and to have a community that can step in and, you know, pinch hit, as I said, and provide what you need. It's going to be very important, and I've really learned that in the past couple of days. Getting a chance to talk to Bob, you know, and just sharing that you've got people around you that care about you. And that can take over to go somewhere. Just remember that. And with that, we'll get started and say, Bruce, we're thinking of you, and open with a prayer. So guess what time it is? We have a woman, Bob, in our... Wait, we have two women. Excuse me, Miss J. We have two women in our leadership group that I hope people will take advantage of, and it will be talking about it at the end of this call. We had like a little bell. We're hearing it in our head, phone numbers going into your head, and isn't that what you want to hear, and is it not giving you a little dopamine rush? Well, it's dope. It's dopamine rush and intel time. I think it's gonna be hearing from one of them. I think it's gonna be pretty strategic. So tonight, we're going to talk about what a number of people pointed out to me with the possibility that Bruce wasn't going to show up, and that is that most likely people are reeling from the political news about President Trump. And I'm just going to be apolitical, but just put perspective on this. Just like I said on Tuesday, we are in a covert war, which is about healing the toxic, invasive, pervasive negativity and, unfortunately, weaponization of harm to humanity. That's the best way to say it, and the most truthfully I can say it without, you know, going into it anymore. So we've heard from different people that the perspective on the verdict with President Trump is being used so that we can see that system in full play. We can see what a really negative, really unfair, really remarkably weaponized system can do, and so it's out in plain sight. So do not be discouraged. The point, I'm speaking to a person with a big capital T. What, whenever he's listening, or when or if I'm gonna get a text. You can't be discouraged by the optics, and it's hard not to be discouraged by the optics. How can this be happening? On my top guy, this is all part strategy to round up. It's like it's right there in front of your face, and it's going to use to secure a much more powerful outcome. So please, don't take my word for it. But just let that be a possibility. For you. In other words, I want people to use critical thinking. Can't overthink this too much, because there's so much going on in the background, to clear the field and give us a fresh, clean, detoxified start. We're going through detoxification, and if anybody's ever done a fast, anything where you're cleansing something negative from your system, we're all doing what cleaning out in the outside world. Ask yourself, am I going through anything where I'm having to look at, does it need to be with me any longer? And you might be surprised at how powerfully the inside and the outside are matching. So that's the first start on our intel for tonight. We're hearing not to be discouraged. Hold the vision of the 800 numbers, to hold the vision that this is all already handled. And I know how hard that is, when people do these broad strokes and you're not getting the granular, like, what does that mean? After 9.5 years decoding intel, you don't think I know what you guys are going through, of course. But in this case, to support your well-being, trust that what is happening that you can't see, God has operationalize that and walk in that confidence. If you do that, you help her get on the planet. So that's one strategy. 2. Now let's get into more intel. The intel is that we have our number one guy has a gentleman. I have to be careful how I say this. Who sent to him that he was moving from one position of authority into another position of authority and had access to intel that said the numbers should be coming out to us today or tomorrow. Nathan's very high position, not a bondholder, nothing. He's not going to say what his position is because I don't want to jeopardize his mission. But he was in a very high level of authority and said that the numbers will be coming out either today or tomorrow. Bruce, how often say, because this is a more things more, but to know that that was said, is very important. And I got another piece of intel that pointed it out, and really significant, that as of the 31st, which is tomorrow at midnight, Mar-a-Lago will drop its no-fly zone. That's really remarkable. You'll be able to fly over Mar-a-Lago. Think about what that means. Strategically. Why would that be happening? Why wouldn't something with Trump be happening? Why Mar-a-Lago be dropping the no-fly zone? Do we have 3 or 4 confirmations of that? No. Is it coming from a trusted source? Yes. Do we just use these things as possibilities that are lining up? While you focus on what you have to do in your daily life. You can, I think we've all learned, I certainly have learned, can't lean your ladder up against this wall. And you're moving war zone, don't lean your ladder up against Sue. This period is about to teach you, would sharpen you. And finally, the most significant piece we have about what could potentially be happening is that what's going on Trump. What's going on with Mar-a-Lago, and if this intel holds up about the numbers coming out, and that's why we're running a class on Monday and Wednesday. June 1st is right around the corner. Would they be positioning so we can be kicking off June 1st? And I know there are other intel strands that are out there, but another source was saying. And this thanks to Jane and Kay, that he is very excited about where this is. He couldn't say what was going on, but he was very excited about it. It's incredibly quiet, incredibly quiet. Let your heart kind of understand when things are done and compete. What's it like? What's it like when a shopping center when built and the lights are there, but it's like built and it's quiet and everything has to move into it? It's quiet still. Not a lot of information is. I think we're in a place where everything is poised. And I particularly in keying off the Mar-a-Lago thing as extraordinary information. So what I would do if I were you, keep your eye on your email, just be witnessing, looking at it. Make sure that as you do that, in Intel psychology. Let's get a text on that. Intel in L psychology, as a lot of this is really like being, I feel like a sports psychologist. It's like learning how to play the game. This is an unbelievable marathon and everybody's a victor in it. No matter how you feel like you've done because you played this game for God. I mean, you should. You should be with yourself in the morning and going, you are one bad, you know what? For God, but keep your focus on your day-to-day while also seeing that you can be focusing on what you're going to be creating, how you want to be living, how you want to be inspired, your projects. That's the part that's going to be giving you meaning, creativity and hope, and creativity. So that's our intel for tonight. And I just want to thank Bob for your incredible remarks and teaching, for offering the 30% off sale. Please take advantage of the sale. Because to have access to what is going to support you in staying healthy and not declining is probably one of the most significant things you could do to care for yourself. So join us and think all we have to do to be successful. Thank you for Quitters and for his incredible right. And let's really thank Bruce for having started as called Tunity to express our passions, to help you express yourself and passion question. And you're passionate about being prayer, to honor the Lord Jesus. We're here because of the incredible being by the name of Bruce. To see him surrounded by all of our love, all of our appreciation, our gratitude for of his service, for his wacky funny heart, for the joy he's given if he was going for a personal challenge. Listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.